have to give this spot a rest. If I go 2 casts without a strike, I'm gonna have to give this place a rest for a minute and see what else I can do. Or just switch back to my jig. Because I found these fish on a jig. Just a black and blue jig. Blue jig with a black trailer. Slowly dragging it. Found the grass with crankbait. Caught my first fish in here on a crankbait. And only caught that one fish, moved in a little shallower. Found the drop off and the weed edge. And decided to throw a spinnerbait over the weed edge. Caught one more. Decided to slow it down and slowly drag a jig through it and drop it through the drop off and caught 2 fish on my first cast. Caught about 5 fish on the jig. And then that bite slowed down. I switched over to the sweet beaver and have been whacking them ever since. I'm probably up to about 5 or 6 fish on this sweet beaver now, so I think I've probably caught about 12, maybe 10, 12 fish on the spot. Nothing huge. Probably lost as many as I brought in the boat. So I probably had about 20 bites or more, 25 bites. Had some jump, just some tap. I felt a bunch of fish, but let's see what's going on. Now, let's show them something different. Let's go ahead and pitch this jig in there. That's next. That's what's going in there. Let's see if I can juice that up a little bit just for kicks. Let's see what happens. Reposition here a little bit. Alright, here we go. Let's see what's going on with the jig. It's got a little rattle in it, so that's going to wake them up a little bit. They've gotten bored of the silent creeper. Well, nothing on the first cast of the jig. A little bit to the right though. I moved my cast a little bit to the left. That's where I was most of the bites, so let's see what happens here. Just a little pop to get that rattle going. Slowly drag. And sure enough, that feels like a better fish. Holy cow, that's a better fish. They always say a jig is going to catch a bigger fish. This might prove it right here. Oh, geez, that's a good fish. That is a much, much, much nicer fish. Let's see what we got here, boys. I am really excited to have this fish on film because it is big. That is a good bass. And it's button good. He's not going anywhere. I am so excited to have this on film. Wow. Ah, that is what I'm talking about. That is exactly what I was hoping to get on film. And just like they say, a jig will catch your biggest fish, and sure enough, that's exactly what I just did right there. That is, that's gotta be 5 and change. I mean, that is just a big, chunky Potomac River largemouth. Can you tell I'm excited? That's an awesome fish. So that's what we're catching in here. I'm thinking the tide's doing something different, and that's pretty exciting. So I'm gonna go and throw him back and try and catch another one, because man, I'm psyched. I should get some still shots of that. I'm actually gonna do that. I'm gonna put him in the live well, and we're gonna get some shots of the biggest fish we've caught. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that real quick. Just a little bit of a change up. You know, you're catching fish and things are going good, and then something happens. You know, you don't get as many bites. Things slow down. Simple color change. Simple change in presentation. Completely change the bait, whatever it takes to get that bite back. And I went from a creature bait to a jig, and then 2 casts caught the biggest fish of the day so far. You always got to wonder how goofy you sound when you're trying to talk to people on film. I'm just gonna try and pretend like that camera is somebody I know. fishing world, we pretty much all know each other, so we're no strangers to one another, that's for sure. Here we go. Let's see what happens again. I will be one happy camper if I pull another fish like that out. Alright, let's give this spot a rest for a minute. Well, let's do that trick one more time. Let's go to the sweet beaver creature bait one time and just see if that theory holds true. He bit a few times on the jig and caught that lunker on the jig. Let's see if anything that's in there is bored of that and wants to see something different. So let's give the black and blue sweet beaver a try. This murky water. Let's see what happens. There we go. Sure enough, just like I thought, we do a change up, and there's another fish. Unbelievable. This spot is just absolutely awesome. Yeah, so this is about the size I've been catching again. On the spot, I caught a nice lunker, you know, just before this a little ways. I had to change tapes, so I just changed tapes, and I got you all along for the ride here on a pretty good day of bass fishing on the Potomac. So this is tape number 2. Nice to get enough footage and take enough time to catch that many fish that I have to change tapes. That's pretty cool. So I just caught, I don't know, my 15th, 18th, 20th fish. Couple decent keepers, nothing crazy. A little 1.5 pound, 2 pounders, barely. And I think I've at least caught a limit, but I definitely have my kicker fish in there. It's at least a 5 pounder that I caught a little bit earlier. I mean, not much earlier. It's, you know, only been about 10 minutes since I caught it. Caught a couple of fish since then. I'm going to back out here. I switched up to the jig from the creature bait, fishing the stained water, just a dark black and blue. And after catching a good handful of fish on the creature bait, switched over to the jig and caught the lunker. So hadn't gotten a bite back on the jig, switched back to the sweet beaver, and just caught another fish. I was getting ready to give this spot a break, but I think I gave it enough of a break switching tapes. So I'm gonna get right back on it, see if they're still here. And they haven't given me one indication that they're not yet, so it's been virtually every cast. If I go 3 casts without a bite, I get a little nervous thinking they're gone, but they're still here. All right, I want another lunker. Give my little honey hole rest for a minute and do a little work on some of these banks and some of the little jetty walls and some of these other pylons to no avail. Haven't had any luck, so not only have I given it a rest, I'm going to go ahead and switch up to a little shaky head and see if that gives them something else to look at. Every time I want to start talking, the planes want to start flying. Let's see what else we can do in here. See if there's any other fish waiting to be caught. This really is my first time ever out on the Potomac filming myself with bass. I've got a couple videos out there on the upper side of the Potomac near Fletcher's Boathouse, catching a few nice rockfish, some catfish and such. But my first time ever out here really filming myself, trying to catch a few bass, and it's been pretty awesome. I didn't think I'd have such good luck and have such a spot that allows me to keep filming and keep catching all at the same time. It keeps me from having to edit too much out and can kind of see things as it happens, which is always a little more real when it comes to video. more shot here. Shaky head. Put that jig back in there. Oh, that may have been a bite. Popped it out of the weeds and got slipped. There we go. That time he hit it. Yep, I knew it. I felt it. That wasn't long on the shaky head. Right on the line. Oh, that's a nice saddle. Yeah, not the same. Still, absolutely awesome spot here. I love it. I love it. Gave it a break, came back. Another presentation. And another Potomac River largemouth. Gotta love these fish. Little footballs, little butterballs. Back it goes. Try and get another one. Basically I'm popping it right out of that little edge of weeds. It's coming into the clearing, it's dropping off the drop off out of the weeds and into the bass's mouth. It's real thick and heavy. I can feel it sticking. And I'm just popping it out of it, and once cleared, it got sucked up. That was just 2 casts. Oh, that was definitely another hit. Lost. Nice suck. That's 2 for 3 casts I've gotten a hit. 1 fish out of 3 casts. First cast had nothing. I'm gonna check this bait and probably pull it off my. Nope, it's still intact. I didn't even spray this one down. They're just eating it anyway. Let's see what we can do. Oh my God, I think I'm getting hit every time. These might not be weeds. They're tugging on my line. It's getting pretty crazy in here. Popping it pretty good. I'm giving it a good shake, and they're really reacting to the hard shake I'm giving it. Seems like every time I got a bite, it was after I'd really given it a good twitch versus the slow drag. I feel like my bait's. Oh, you know what? There's a damn fish on here. You know, that's the smallest fish of the day, and he was just swimming right at me. And I must not have missed him. He must have been on there when I set the hook. So maybe I don't suck that bad. That is a little little snub-nosed looking bass, isn't it? This little humpback, he's a little Roman nose on him. Huh. That's the smallest fish of the day right there. I think I did a number on my little bait. I did something kind of interesting. I went ahead and took my shaky head worm. It's just a little zoom worm. Went ahead and cut the tail, just right down the middle. Just give it a little more flutter action, a little more water movement in the stained water. So that's just something that different you can do, and kind of customize your presentation, customize your baits. And I'm gonna get another bait and cut out for the moment while I do that, and I'll be right back. Just popping the bait through it, come to the edge, and right away, the second it hits the water, nice little fish, just on the edge of it. Nailed it the second it hit the water.